Okay, the first segment talked about erosional features, which really is kind of a little confusing because those would be more like weathering features. That is material being broken down, but it is being carried away in that process, so that's why they're called erosional features. And here, what we're going to talk about is eventually those particles that are carried by the glacier are deposited, and there are some very specific depositional features caused by glaciers. One of the terms you need to be familiar with is this term. It's called till, and till is essentially the material that is deposited by a glacier, and it's the rocks and the gravel and the dirt and whatnot. Now, it can be deposited in a variety of fashions. One way that a feature can be formed is what's called a kettle pond. Kettle ponds form when you have a large glacier is moving through a valley, and a piece of that glacier breaks off, falls onto the ground, and creates a depression in the ground. So basically, then that depression can fill in later with rainwater or meltwater or whatever, creating these kettle ponds. And we see kettle ponds in areas like Nine Pipes and down by the Pablo Reservoir. There's a whole lot of kettle ponds there. The next feature is a drumlin. Drumlins are deposited underneath a glacier. So you have the glacier itself has been over the top of an area. It's been moving in this direction. And underneath it, we have an eroded area which then fills with till. And it's teardrop shaped, so it basically points in the direction that the glacier is moving. So also a valuable tool for better understanding the movement of glaciers and what exactly is going on there. The next feature is an esker. Eskers are also formed underneath the glacier. What you have going on underneath the glacier is you have a stream flowing underneath the glacier, which is causing erosion, and then it starts to slowly fill in with till also, and that leaves behind this snaking mound of till, which is known as an esker. Erratics are boulders that are carried by the glacier itself, and then when the glacier melts, they just drop in different areas. We can see these in a lot of different places, in Missoula and in Polson and in Valley View. That there's lots of these random rocks that were dropped by glaciers that were here. The last two features are meltwater. This is very obvious what meltwater is. And then a moraine is two different things. Actually, there's multiple types of moraines. But what we see right here is this mound of rocks and gravel that piles up as the glacier pushes in front of it. It acts like a bulldozer, and it creates this stuff right here, these large mounds. This is what's called a terminal moraine. A terminal moraine will tell us how far the glacier moved. A great example of a terminal moraine is the Polson Hill. Skyline Hill is basically a large terminal moraine from the last glacier that moved through here. And so is the Allentown Hill, which is just south of Ronan. A lateral glacier is on the side, and there's also medial glacier, which is in the middle of a glacier.